A good demand for cross-border travel into Malaysia. That's according to the Land Transport Authority. It has received 20,000 applications for vehicle entry permits as of 6 p.m. Authorities have opened more immigration lanes to serve those crossing at midnight. It's the first time in 2 years anyone can cross as freely as long as they're fully vaccinated. Gwyneth Teo is at the Woodlands checkpoint. And Gwyneth, we just heard the LTA saying there is good demand there. Do you see this translating into where you are right now?
Definitely. So where I'm standing is actually very near the pedestrian crossing. So this is where people would actually cross if they're planning to walk over the causeway. And just an hour ago, it was not this crowded. We saw maybe about like 20 people about an hour ago. But in the past 20, 30 minutes, that situation has completely changed. This is maybe about close to 100 people in line now. And bearing in mind that there's still 2 hours to go before they can even cross the border over into Malaysia. So definitely a lot of pent-up demand, and a lot of the people here are Malaysians. Some have travelled back to Malaysia using the vaccinated travel lane arrangement, but they say they simply miss their families too much and they want to go back now that they can. And we managed to speak to some of them who reflected their eagerness to basically beat this crowd that we're seeing right now. And that's why they came very early, about 8:30 to 9 p.m.
I think if start 12 a.m. Maybe a bit long queue, so I don't want to rush. Then I plan to go out for early.
Tomorrow will be jam. So many people will go. So very. So I just don't want to. I want to avoid the one. Better I can walk.
I'm going to also hearing from the LTA that there are 20,000 applications for vehicle entry permits. That's one of the things you need to cross the border right now. Other things now post, or rather living with the pandemic. We've got things like apps we need to worry about, vaccination certificates. What does one need right now, well, past midnight in any case, to cross into Malaysia?
Also, definitely make sure you have your contact tracing app, the My Sejahtera contact tracing app, ready to go when you cross the border. Also, make sure that you have uploaded your vaccination documents, your proof of vaccination onto the government's official apps in Singapore. That is the SG Arrival Card. And these little things, making sure that you have all these documents in order, making sure you have all these apps in order, will help to make the journey smoother as well. And also, anticipating this congestion, because this is not just a today thing, or rather a midnight thing. Congestion at the causeway was the perennial problem all the way from before the pandemic. That was the main bugbear. You could get stuck in queues for hours and hours. So, help yourself a little bit. Make sure you have all your documents in order, and then things will go smoothly. As for what's happening here tonight, the Immigrations and Checkpoints Authority, we talked to the commander of Woodlands Checkpoint earlier, and he said they are prepared to deal with any situation, whether that is, not that many people traveling this weekend or waiting for later, or for a crowd that, as we are seeing, is already starting to form.
We have 40 arrival car counters and 36 departure car counters in Woodlands. As we approach midnight, depending on the traffic situation, we will deploy officers accordingly. And if the traffic situation calls for it, we will man all available counters if necessary.
So both authorities on both sides have been anticipating a return of travel in a very huge way, not just after midnight, but also this weekend with the Tomb Sweeping Festival coming up, lots of people with relatives in Malaysia as well, but also from now on, just releasing some of that pent-up demand that has grown over the past 2 years.
And thanks for that to Gwyneth Teo reporting from Woodlands Checkpoint in Singapore.